Hello, Mitch. It's actually Michael Wisner using Sterling's account. All
Oh,
right, buddy.
that, wow. Wow. That's amazing. Thanks, Mike. You always show up, man. Tell me where to send the upside down cake for Christmas or Hanukkah.
Ah! I wish I had been more productive for you, my friend, but I got good news to tell you anyway.
You do. Okay, you want to start there? Start there.
If you want, if I'm not taking time away from Beth and Karina.
I say start right there.
Well, I give you one great, for instance. My dear friend Adi is sitting here with me. You don't get to see anybody yet because I'm not in position to set up the camera in the right place, but I can talk at you. And I introduced Adi remotely to Vince yesterday, and that's going to be great for both of them. That's a whole nother story. But my own personal work that I have been building throughout this COVID madness, and actually since the beginning of last year, is leading and creating networking with truly not only a lot of doctors and attorneys in the United States, throughout the United States, but the best of them. So it's going to be really good for you because you're such a sweet, genuine, ethical guy. You're going to really appreciate helping the right people. And it's all been in the works. And I didn't want to boast too much about stuff, but it's really activating. Any minute now, we will. I'm glad you've been preparing the scripts and all that. Haven't had time to really look at all of it, but I've been seeing what you've been putting down, brother.
Thank you, Michael. That's great. Well, with that in mind, thank you for the great news. You guys can't see him. Michael Wisnu is very a filmmaker and a photographer and really a world-class artist. I'm real happy, Mike, to have you, joining our mission for our company.
It's my honor.
Thank you. So, Vitality Health and Legal Funding. This is our kind of our weekly shindig, and you guys can jump in here because we're a small group today. Basically, our company is a mission-driven company, and what we're trying to do, especially in these times, is to help people that are in trouble to get some kind of financial assistance to get through what they need to if they're specifically if they're injury victims or they're people that have lawsuits. The courts are basically closed for a year and a half, and people who are in trouble just don't have a lot of ways to get well. It doesn't help that COVID has a lot of businesses shut down, but people who are injured, even during normal times, can really have trouble surviving when they have an issue. And so our company was created to help those people, not just them, but also the healthcare offices and their attorneys. And we basically try to help everybody in that cycle to get some funding. Basically, we fund their cases so that they can make it through and survive. We have an appointment setting vehicle on the website where basically people are always asking me, like, how do people make appointments to get analysis, or doctors, lawyers, whoever needs help. You could just text me or call me, but you could also make appointments, free appointments on the website for anybody that needs to have a consult. So today I'm changing gears a little bit before I talk about everything we do, although I do want to remind myself, one of the things that we've been doing is, because we do funding and finance, is we've been funding and financing offices that require medical supplies, whether it's gowns, masks, gloves, these types of things have fallen into our lap. And we're actually a funding source for protective equipment. In addition to, financing cases, we can also help medical establishments that are trying to obtain equipment. We have a pipeline for that, and we have a funding vehicle for that. So when we say that we finance healthcare offices, we also have a vehicle for them to finance their medical supplies. So, basically, these are what I call the 3 rules of success. Your mindset, that mentally that you're comfortable with the thing that you're pursuing. So that's the proper mindset, just to know that if you have comfort and you're happy with what you're doing, it's not hard. It's not even a sale, really. It's more like a sharing experience. And then you need tools to back that up, which my company will provide to you. And if you come across things that don't appear to be part of our platform, but it sounds very interesting, bring it up with me. That's how we ended up doing things like buying and financing the purchase and sale of medical practices, or this thing about helping doctors, finance their equipment purchases. The tools, we're always expanding those and looking to provide those, and then just to basically act upon it, to have some type of a goal that I'm going to call, 10 law offices today, or I set a goal for yourself. And again, when you're sharing something that's helpful to them, there's no sale involved. Really, you're just trying to share that we're not somebody who supports their business, their patients, and what they're trying to do. And that's the activity part. And, people ask me all the time, like, how do I get in there? And the answer is, well, you say, I'm working with Dr. Holland, Vitality Health. Vitality Health company is basically we're a medical service organization. And, we help doctors, lawyers, and patients that need money to either to pay for their legal expenses or their medical expenses. And we don't charge anything for the evaluation of that service. We get paid basically when we perform. If we're able to help them, we charge a fee obviously for that service, but none of it comes out of their pockets. Why do people do business with us? Well, again, it's this whole idea that, we like that we're helping them, and they like that we're helping them. And so it's real important, and it's a constant coaching item to say, to in our minds, not to want to present the product too much, but more to present that we're here to assist them. What do we know about them? When you call a client, so if you decide that you're going to call law offices tomorrow or medical clinics tomorrow, to know something about them, so that you can ask them, you can say, how are you guys doing during this crazy time? And say, well, we here in California, we have a lockdown and it's affecting us, or we know that law offices are closed. How are you guys doing with that? And kind of engaging them on a personal level to find out what it is that they need help with. Then you can provide a solution. This is much more effective than calling and saying, well, hi, we're a medical service organization and we're providing money. I mean, that probably works too, but it's better always to ask questions, to flip it around and find out how we can help, relieve, or support that office. Our company motto is the power of one. If you have one client that's a law office, a medical doctor, an injury patient, that's a gateway to everybody that they're connected to. If it's a patient, they're seeing doctors, they're talking to attorneys. That attorney has medical people, they have experts to prove the case. All of those are potential clients for you. So the mindset is really to focus on one person. You may have to call 20 till you find one that you like. You get on the phone, you guys just find out you have a lot in common and you like each other, and that's somebody you can work with, and then you can engage them to become, kind of an outlet for our firm to create that pipeline. A lot of times that's done regionally, not always. We're in all 50 states, we're a nationwide company, and sometimes they'll say, we have an office in another state, can you help us there? The answer is absolutely. So really the idea is to always focus on the person you're dealing with. We're not a high volume service. It does build, but we are, our goal is to provide tremendous service and quality to each and every office and each and every client. And so you'll see here, product knowledge is actually on the bottom, because my philosophy is it's actually the least important thing. It does come into play, but the most important thing is for us to get and know and like each other and find out what they need and provide that service that supports them. So this is kind of the triangle of care. If somebody has an injury case, they get hurt, and there are doctors that help them and attorneys' offices. A lot of doctors don't want to wait to get paid. Some of them will, but a lot of them will not. That's okay, because when an injury client walks through the door, we will provide funding for their medical procedures, so the doctor doesn't have to wait for money. And then the law offices, we'll talk about it again in a minute, but, you know, they're waiting a year just to get into court. So how are they, you know, they're settling cases up front for pennies on the dollar because they can't afford to wait. Well, we stop that automatically. What do? We provide cash advances mainly for injury and lawsuit cases. Doesn't have to be an injury case, could be another type of a lawsuit, but primarily we're looking to help people that are injured in some way, and not just physical injury, it could be something else. You know, they could have somebody that doesn't, you know, I had a guy who was an executive in a company that the company was blocking him from collecting on his payment, and he had a lawsuit, and we were able to help him because he needed, you know, they basically were holding on to all of the stock, which is all the money this guy had, really, and they wouldn't let him collect it. And so it's, again, this is a tactic that the sometimes people in, you know, I don't want to use the word power necessarily, but yeah, people that have control over your money can, you know, force you to settle cases prematurely, which can affect you financially. Chiropractic offices, law offices, injury victims, medical offices these are all of the primary types of conduits. We also work with associations, groups that train doctors and medical offices, law offices. They have medical practice groups that teach them how to run offices, and usually we can create a professional partnership. If it's somebody we really like, those people are providing service that we can offer to our clients. True partnership, and then also we can help their customers. And I'm always available to do seminars, Zoom conferences. Quite frankly, before all of this, my primary source of business was continuing education providers for physicians. We go in, not only do we do a free seminar, but we actually offer financial incentive to those companies. We'll give them referral compensation, you know, compensate them. So not only are we picking up the slack for them by helping to train and assisting their clients and taking a segment of the seminar that they don't have to pay us for, actually, if we're able to help those clients, they become a strategic partner in our business. And sometimes they offer us something, we offer them something. Again, we're creating this circle of light that we can help each other. And so the other entry you have when you talk to a law or medical office is, can we send them business? Not necessarily can they send us business, but I work with Dr. Holland, and we would love to have a lawyer in your area or a doctor in your area that we can send business to and work with reciprocally. And I've had some offices that say, well, we try not to support our cases financially. We're concerned about privacy, or, you know, that they have to pay it back. So the first thing you need to know is if the case doesn't settle, the client doesn't have to pay it back. Virtually all of our products, with the exception of lending, you know, to an office for medical equipment, you know, purchases, virtually all of the services that we offer are non-recourse to the injured client, the doctor, the lawyer, so that if the case doesn't settle, they don't have to pay us back. So that's not a good reason. But you are going to find some offices that just don't like discussing their cases with other people. It's okay. We want to work with people that want to work with us, that want to help their patients, that want to get their doctors paid. And those are the people we want to try to find that we can send business with, that will also send business to us. So again, the two keys for you when you're talking to someone are that you're working with Dr. Holland. We're a medical service organization. We're not a sales company. And we're looking for somebody that we can work with to send business to reciprocally, that they, you know, if they have people we can help, we would like to also help them by sending them clients. We help all types of injury cases. Legal cases are settling. It's just too expensive to litigate, as I've mentioned. So we help medical providers and all types of law offices and all types of legal cases. And we do offer referral. Now, we can't pay medical providers for clients, and usually law offices don't want it either. The purpose of the referral program is if you know somebody that sends us an office, so maybe the lawyer will say, I have a number of outlets, I have medical providers that I can send to you. do you do anything for us? And the answer is yes. If they send us a source of business and they're, and they would like to get a referral, we can do that for law offices. Medical providers are a little different. If it's patients that they're seeing, obviously they can't collect any compensation. But if they send us, let's say they send us a radiology office, or they send us a laboratory, we actually can compensate them corporately for that. But nothing that it's a little sticky, because the medical provider is not allowed to collect any type of referral fee. So it's incumbent upon us to try to protect them by really servicing everyone, and not necessarily paying them for referral. But anybody else, your hairdresser sends you a law office, or your mechanic, we certainly can compensate them. We're happy to do so. The type of cases include not just medical, but also workman's comp, people that are injured on the job. And so when we go into a medical office, we'd love to know that they take injury cases of all types. And how much accounts receivable do they have? Do they have, a lot of offices will have several $1 million just sitting on the shelf. And our favorite type of an office is for us to go in there. We find this, what I would call a non-performing asset. They have millions of dollars just sitting on the wall, and we can basically just compensate them for all of it. We go and we take the whole portfolio, and we will offer them a substantial amount of money that they don't have to wait to get paid. So again, on a non-recourse basis, whatever we pay them, they don't have to pay it back. And it's a chance for them to, to get immediately paid for what could be a tremendous non-performing asset for them, especially if their offices are going under. They want to do something with that as soon as possible if they're suffering from COVID. Probate cases, if somebody's got an inheritance, sometimes these can take years to settle, and other types of lawsuits. So these are all people who have been injured in some way. In a probate case, you may have other people in the family are arguing over a settlement. They're terrible situations, and we don't do a lot of them, but we can advance money in different kinds of cases. We also have professional loans for any professional with a license in a legal profession, in a legally licensed profession, such as a lawyer, an engineer. We have a lending facility for them that does not require any collateral. The rates are very good. Sometimes you go in an office and they say, well, we want to expand the office. We don't really have a lot of injury cases. They just need some help. Or they do want to expand their office. They need money for expansion. It's credit score driven, very easy qualifying, very low interest rates. So we do have a lending product specifically, not just for doctors, but also for other licensed professionals. It's just an outgrowth of the other things that we do. It's another type of service we provide. So typically what happens in an injury case is when someone's injured, they go into a healthcare office, and that doctor will take an IOU. And that IOU is called a lien, or a letter of protection. And what the IOU says, I'm going to provide all the service to you, and when the case settles, then we collect our money. Typically, they never collect 100% of their bill. At the end, it's negotiated. Doctor gets this, injured party gets this, lawyer gets that. So these are called liens or letter of protection. So when you talk to legal and medical offices, you want to know if they're taking liens, because this is how their accounts receivable adds up. They may have millions of dollars in liens that they can't get paid on. Chiropractors specifically, typically, who do injury cases, have a lot of this. Orthopedic, neurology, imaging centers, labs, and medical equipment. These are all certain types of providers that will take liens in an injury case. That's what this list is. We help them also to collect on their dead, denied, and reduced insurance claims. So we'll ask them, they'll ask, like, how do I know what kind of money I can get? And the answer is, we have to take a look at their accounts receivable, see what they've got. And they may have millions of this. Some of it might be private insurance, some might be workman's comp, some might be injury liens. We don't know until we look. So, and we don't charge anything for that service, to take a look at their accounts receivable. Law offices are a little bit different. So in a medical office, we look at accounts receivable. In the law offices, we look at their caseload. It's called their docket. And their caseload are cases that they're working on now, or may have worked on in the past that they're waiting to resolve through the legal process. And so typically when we talk to a law office, if they're doing injury work, they've got cases that are pending. They may not be able to pay for their legal experts. They may have typically, I want to say 99%, if not 100% of the time, when they have a client that's been injured, that client will need money because they've been injured. And so on top of not being able to work, they may have expenses they need to pay for immediately. So when you talk to a law office, it kind of, after you let them know, again, that you're, number one, working with Dr. Holland, and number two, we'd like to send them business, what do they have right now that we can help them with? That's simple. Are you working on any cases right now? And they'll tell you, I had a guy in a big accident 2 weeks ago, and they're all different. All these cases are really, really different. I'm working on a couple of very large litigation cases right now where people are seriously injured, some of them lifetime care patients who I actually did some medical consulting with one of these where I actually gave them the estimates of all the lifetime care that the client would need, as well as what we anticipated let's see, it was loss of income. Yeah, so it was those two things. It was loss of lifetime income and lifetime medical expenses. Those two things added up in this particular case to probably over $10 million. And I wrote the reports for this particular attorney to help him, provide that information to the court so that they could figure out what their settlement was going to be. So that's kind of going beyond. They actually pay me for that type of consulting service. It's not our primary business to do that, but as a result of that, we're advancing the lawyer money. We're helping his injury client. We're providing funds to them, but our service goes above and beyond. When I say that we have a strategic partnership, I don't think there's more I could have done for this office than to prove that the case was worthy of millions of dollars in settlement money. So this isn't something that you guys need to be concerned with per se, but it's good to know that we go very, very far to help attorneys settle their cases. And when we see what the result of that is, assuming I'm allowed to speak about it, we'll be able to talk about some of these major cases. I've got a big law office in LA. It's all they do is major. A lot of my injury clients do major litigation, and they need somebody to not just to help them with financial, but also to help them analyze the cases. We do that. We're trying to pay their third-party expenses. So the attorney has legal experts, people that they rely upon to prove their cases. Like I just mentioned to you, they have medical experts. They may have accident reconstruction people. They might have other people that they need to cover expenses on. And our firm is able to advance money to their third parties so that they can prove up their cases. We're a nationwide company. This is really important. The funding process and the rates of what we charge. And the answer to that is there is absolutely no standard for this, okay? Every case in every office, so it's kind of a macro and a micro analysis. So we look at the whole office to figure out how they've been collecting money over some period of time. And we're going to look at them, we're going to analyze what their collections have been, but also the individual cases. Believe it or not, every individual case is a custom client, is going to have its own particulars. And so in that sense, our job is a little bit work heavy, because there isn't like one solution for every office. We have to look at that office and we have to look at their individual clients to figure out what we can do. The history determines the cost. So if they've been doing lots of the same kind of cases and they've been getting paid in 3 to 6 months and they've been collecting 70% of their bill, that's a standard where we know we can lend against. If not, sometimes we literally have to go through some collection process with them so that so we know what we can finance. And it ranges anywhere from 25 to 70% of the value of their medical bills is what we're able to advance. On a legal case, there's no telling. Honestly, some guys need $1 million, some guys need $20,000, and we just have to look at it. So if you get to the point with someone where they ask you, what do you charge? You say, just give me a look-see. It's something you're working on, and we'll come back to you with the absolute best we can do. We'll provide you with options, and then you can decide which of these options work for you. Now, in law offices, we also can blanket the law office and provide them with a line of credit. So we provide lines of credit to an office up to $5 million where they don't have to come back to us. They can just draw down on whatever they need. So if the whole office wants to just blanket the office, give us their whole docket, and get a $5 million line of credit, we can do it. And then basically they use the money, and they'll pay anywhere from, let's say, 1% to 2% a month, only on the money that they use. Large litigation financing, we can provide cash advances against all types of accounts receivable in the medical office. We can help them finance purchase and sale if it's a medical office. I haven't done one for attorneys, but I would be willing to bet we can even buy and sell a law office if we need to, because the financing that we do is for really, it's available for any professional office that can prove income. We have some credential, and this all has to do with insurance, medical and equipment lease, and I spoke to you about the fact that we can provide either a straight cash loan on a credit basis, or we can provide, if they're trying to buy equipment or personal protective equipment, we have a variety of kind of programs for that. We have medical experts. So if you talk to somebody and they say, I need a neurologist, I need an orthopedic surgeon to write reports for me to prove up this case. Again, here we go again, right? And then, so what do? We go to an orthopedic surgeon and we say to them, hey, I have some cases we'd like you to look at, and we'd like to work with you. Again, the power of one, right? We talk to somebody, now we've got an orthopedic surgeon, neurologist, a laboratory, and we're working with all of them, and we're providing service to all of them. One client leads to many, just as personal as you can be. Again, how are they doing? How are they being affected? How can we be of service to you? That's always, and again, find people you like working with. This is a service that just about every injury lawyer and every medical provider in the country needs this service. So be selective and work with people you like, because you're going to be working with them a lot. One client, one solution. It's all about how can we be of service to help your office survive the current crisis. Anything else here? And that's basically it. I mean, this is our mission, and this is how we operate, and this is what we're looking to do. We're looking to help as many people as we can. We have deep pockets, and you'll find out as soon as you make a breakthrough that not just people need us, but just imagine that if you haven't done it yet, that first injury client that's really in trouble, and now all of a sudden, their bills are paid, they can wait for their money, and they can survive. So I'll open up the floor here if you guys have any specific questions. Basically, that's the review. Michael, you've seen it. Karina, Beth, you're kind of new, but hopefully this was helpful to you in some way.
Mitch, do you want to talk about minimum thresholds for both legal cases and medical AR? Since we offer free evaluations, there may be numbers we don't want to go below.
Yeah, well, I'm going to leave that up to you guys. Because, again, sometimes we're just looking for someone we can work with. I don't really want to set any specific threshold. Obviously, it's hard to work with medical providers that don't have, $25,000 to I'd say $50,000. I mean, for an orthopedic surgeon, that's not even one case.
Yeah.
So
I was thinking more specifically around the legal and the personal injury, because you can get a lot of low cost personal injury cases.
Right. Again, let's just let them bring them in. I'm willing to work them. I know we may not make a lot of money on it, but I'm willing to work. Let's just let them bring in the stuff and then evaluate them.
Okay.
Because I think if we prejudge, somebody says, well, I only have 20,000. Then once you get in there, you find out that, you know, that they're a source that we can work with in another way. A lot of offices that are coming to us aren't even doing personal injury because they can't wait to get paid. But now they can. So I think there's opportunity there, especially if it's somebody you like, that maybe they can open this up. This can open something for them. This can say, you know, they can now start advertising that they can take injury cases because we'll pay for those cases up for, they send us the file and we can pre-fund the case before they even treat. So it provides opportunity. So I'd say right now, anybody that wants to do business with us is a prospect.
Okay.
Okay. Well, happy holidays if I don't talk to you guys before next week. I really appreciate you guys and your family so much. And I think we're in a great spot. Beth, I will speak to you and we'll get you going right away. And that's it. That's all I got for you. I love you guys. Thank you so much. Okay.
Happy holidays, everybody. Stay safe. Stay
Happy
healthy.
holidays. Yeah, bye-bye.
Happy holidays. Thanks, Doc.